Be me, 38-year-old, fierce, independent woman who doesn't need a man but has one anyway because I'm generous like that. Married to Steve for 12 years, together for 15. Spent every single day of our relationship educating him about patriarchy, toxic masculinity, emotional labor, and all the ways men have oppressed women since the dawn of time. Honestly, it's exhausting being the woke one in the relationship, but someone has to do it. Steve always just nods and says, "Yes, dear," when I explain how he's perpetuating systemic oppression by manspreading on our own couch. Typical man, never actually listening, just waiting for me to stop talking. Wake up one Tuesday morning in March, feeling particularly empowered after my women's collective meeting the night before. We spent 3 hours discussing how marriage is a patriarchal institution designed to enslave women. The irony of being married while having this discussion is not lost on me, but I stay married to show Steve what a truly liberated woman looks like. Come downstairs expecting Steve to have made breakfast because emotional labor and all that. He usually does the cooking because I explained years ago that expecting women to cook is rooted in gender stereotypes. Kitchen is empty. Check the living room, nothing. His car is gone from the driveway. Probably went to get groceries, another task I delegated to him because women have been doing domestic labor for free for centuries. I notice an envelope on the kitchen counter with my name on it. It's handwritten in Steve's annoyingly neat handwriting. He probably wrote some apologetic note about forgetting to tell me he was running errands. Men are so inconsiderate, always doing things without communicating. Open the envelope and start reading. My hands start shaking by the second paragraph. This isn't an errand note. This is divorce papers. Divorce papers. Attached is a letter explaining that he's leaving me, effective immediately. He's already gone, moved out, taken his things. Wait, when did he take his things? Run upstairs to our bedroom. His closet is completely empty. How did I not notice this? Run to his home office. Completely cleared out. His desk, his computer, his books, everything gone. The room is just empty furniture. How is this possible? I was just in here yesterday looking for my phone charger. No, wait. When was the last time I was actually in his office? He always kept the door closed, said he needed privacy for work calls. I told him that demanding privacy is a red flag for emotional unavailability, but he kept doing it anyway. Typical man, never listening to women's concerns. Run back downstairs, grab the letter with shaking hands. Read it more carefully this time. He writes that he's been planning this for over 3 years. 3 years. He opened a separate bank account I didn't know about. He's been funneling money into it from his bonuses and side projects. He's been seeing a lawyer for 18 months. 18 months. He moved his stuff out gradually over the past 6 months, just a few boxes at a time to a storage unit. He timed it for when I was at my women's collective meetings every Monday night. Those meetings where I was literally discussing how to recognize controlling behavior in men. The audacity. The absolute audacity. Keep reading, my blood pressure rising with every sentence. He writes that he's kept meticulous records of everything. Every time I screamed at him for minor things. Every time I told him his feelings didn't matter because men have privilege. Every time I made him sleep on the couch for imagined offenses. He documented all of it. He has recordings, journals, everything. Wait, recordings. When did he record me? He writes that he started recording our interactions 2 years ago after consulting with his lawyer. One-party consent state, completely legal. I feel like I'm going to throw up. He has videos, apparently. Videos of me throwing things during arguments. Videos of me telling him he's a worthless example of his gender. Videos of me explaining that he can't understand real problems because he's a man. All of this is in his letter, itemized like a grocery list. My throat is tight, I can't breathe properly. Keep reading because I'm a glutton for punishment, apparently. He writes about the finances. Oh God, the finances. The house is in his name only. Wait, what? No, that can't be right. Run to the filing cabinet where we keep important documents. He's taken everything. Every deed, every title, every important paper. All that's left are my personal documents and some utility bills. Run back to the letter. He explains that the house was his before we got married. I moved into his house. He never added me to the deed despite me asking multiple times. I thought he was just being lazy about it. Now I realize he was protecting his asset. The cars are both in his name too. He's leaving me one car, how generous. The older one, of course. The one I always complained about. He took the good car, the luxury SUV, the one I picked out and made him buy. This can't be happening. Read about the bank accounts. Our joint account has exactly $5,000 in it. That's it. $5,000. He writes that this is more than generous considering I haven't worked full-time in 7 years. I had to quit my job at the nonprofit because it was too stressful. He supported me completely. I did freelance consulting for women's organizations, but that barely paid anything. It wasn't about the money, though. It was about making a difference. He should have been honored to support my activism. But now he's throwing it in my face. The joint account was supposed to have way more than 5,000. We had at least 80,000 last time I checked, which was admittedly 6 months ago, but still. He's been moving money out slowly. His lawyer told him exactly how much he could legally move. He's been paying himself back for supporting me all these years, apparently, calculating how much I would have contributed if I'd worked. Subtracting that from the joint account. Who does that? What kind of person plans something like this? Keep reading through tears now. He addresses every argument I might make. He knows me so well, it's creepy. He writes that he knows I'll say he's abandoning me. But he's provided me with enough money to get on my feet. $5,000 to get on my feet. The audacity. He knows I'll say he's doing this out of nowhere. So he's included a timeline of when he told me he was unhappy. There's a whole attachment. A spreadsheet. Dates, times, what he said, how I responded. Entries going back years. I flipped to the spreadsheet with trembling hands. June 3rd, 2019, told her I was feeling unappreciated. She said, men who need appreciation are fragile and suffering from toxic masculinity. September 14th, 2019, asked if we could go to couples counseling. She said counseling is a scam designed to make women compromise their boundaries. January 2nd, 2020, expressed that I feel like she doesn't respect me. She laughed and said, respect is earned and men haven't earned anything. There are dozens of these entries. How do I not remember these conversations? I mean, I remember saying these things, but they were just normal discussions. He was being sensitive. Men are so sensitive, always needing their egos stroked. But apparently he was documenting everything, building his case, planning his escape. The betrayal burns in my chest. Go back to the main letter. He writes that he's thought about this carefully. He's considered my perspective. He's read all the feminist literature I made him read. He's attended the workshops I dragged him to. He's listened to all my lectures about gender dynamics. And he's concluded that I don't actually want equality. I want superiority. I want to punish him for being born male. I want to make him atone for sins he never committed. How dare he twist my activism into something ugly. I was educating him. I was making him better. I was helping him overcome his socialization. But he's framing it like abuse. He actually uses that word. Abuse. Says he's been in an emotionally abusive relationship, that I've been the abuser. This is absolutely insane. Men cannot be abused by women. Women don't have the systemic power to abuse men. I literally explained this to him hundreds of times. He even quotes me in the letter. Uses my own words about how abuse requires power plus prejudice. Then systematically explains how I had all the power in our relationship. Financial power, because he couldn't spend money without me criticizing him. Social power, because I controlled who we saw and when. Emotional power, because I decided when he was allowed to be upset. Physical power, because I never faced consequences for hitting him. Wait, he's bringing up the hitting. Oh God, he's bringing up the hitting. It was barely hitting. I pushed him a few times during arguments. Slapped him once or twice when he was being particularly dense. Threw some objects in his general direction. But I never, really hit him. I'm 5'4", and he's 6'1". I couldn't hurt him if I tried. But apparently his lawyer disagrees. Apparently there are laws about domestic violence that don't care about height differences. Apparently he has evidence of injuries. Photographs time-stamped and everything. When did he take photographs? Probably right after our arguments when he would lock himself in the bathroom. I thought he was being dramatic. He was documenting. Always documenting. Building his case like a lawyer. No, wait, he had an actual lawyer. They were building this case together. I need to sit down. I'm already sitting. I need to lie down. Go to the couch and collapse. Stare at the ceiling. Our whole marriage was a lie. No, wait. He made it a lie by being dishonest. He should have told me he was unhappy. Except according to his spreadsheet he did. Multiple times. But those don't count because he should have made me understand. He should have communicated better. Men are such bad communicators. Always expecting women to read between the lines. Wait. I'm the one who didn't listen. No, that's not right. I listened. I just disagreed. Disagreeing isn't the same as not listening. But apparently to him it was. Apparently he needed me to validate his feelings. But his feelings were based on patriarchal conditioning. I couldn't validate that. I had a responsibility to correct him. to educate him, to make him better. But he didn't want to be better, apparently. He wanted to be coddled. Like all men. Babies, all of them. My phone buzzes. Text from my best friend Rachel from the Women's Collective. She's asking how I'm doing. How does she know? Another text comes through. She says Steve's lawyer contacted her as a potential witness. What? He's been contacting my friends, documenting things they saw. Rachel says she has to be honest about what she witnessed. Witnessed what? She saw me throw a glass at him once at a dinner party. That was years ago. He provoked me. He contradicted me in front of people. He made me look stupid. I had to respond. But Rachel is going to testify about it, apparently. Another text. She says she loves me, but she has to tell the truth. She saw how I treated him. She was concerned, but didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to break feminist solidarity. But she can't lie under oath. I throw my phone across the room. It hits the wall and cracks. Great, now I need a new phone. Steve's fault for upsetting me. Everything is Steve's fault. He's the one who gave up. He's the one who abandoned our marriage. He's the one who planned this elaborate escape. Like I'm some kind of prison warden. I was just trying to have an equal partnership. Equal partnership where I made all the decisions. No, that's not fair. He could make decisions. He just usually made the wrong ones, so I had to correct him. That's not controlling, that's helpful. I was helping. Why couldn't he see I was helping? Get up from the couch. Need to do something. Need to fix this. Call Steve's phone. Goes straight to voicemail. Of course he blocked me. Coward. Can't even face me directly. Has to hide behind lawyers and letters. Typical man behavior. Conflict avoidant. Emotionally stunted. Try calling from the landline. Wait, do we still have a landline? Check the phone jack. It's disconnected. He disconnected the landline. When did he do that? How much did I not notice? How long was I sleepwalking through this marriage? No, I wasn't sleepwalking. I was present. I was engaged. I was working on our relationship constantly. Constantly explaining, educating, correcting. That's engagement. That's caring. If I didn't care, I wouldn't have spent so much energy trying to fix him. But he sees it as something else. He sees it as criticism, as contempt, as abuse. The word keeps echoing in my head. Abuse. I'm not an abuser. Abusers are bad people. I'm a good person. I fight for justice. I fight for equality. I've dedicated my life to making the world better. How can someone like that be an abuser? But then I remember the things he listed. The yelling. The throwing things. The hitting. The controlling behavior. The isolation from his friends. Wait, when did I isolate him from his friends? I just pointed out that his friends were sexist. Brad, who always made jokes about women. Tom, who worked in finance and was clearly a capitalist pig. Marcus, who voted Republican. I didn't say he couldn't see them. I just made it unpleasant when he did. Asked a lot of questions about why he needed male friends. Suggested he was avoiding emotional intimacy with me. Made him feel guilty for choosing them over me. Eventually, he stopped seeing them on his own. His choice. Totally his choice. I didn't force anything. But the result was the same, I guess. He had no friends. Only my friends. Only people from my world. All women or properly educated feminist men. All people who agreed with me. All people who reinforced my perspective. He was completely surrounded by my ideology. With no outside perspective. No support system. No escape. Oh God. What did I do? No, wait. No. I didn't do anything wrong. I was creating a safe space. Safe from toxic masculinity. Safe from patriarchal thinking. Safe from bad influences. He should have been grateful. Instead, he was plotting, scheming, lying, moving money, seeing lawyers, documenting everything, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And I never saw it coming, because I thought I had him trained. No, not trained. Educated. I thought he was finally getting it. He was so agreeable the last few years. Always saying yes. Always apologizing. Always doing what I asked. I thought I'd finally gotten through to him. Turns out he was just playing along. Gathering evidence. Waiting for his moment. How long has he been dead inside our marriage? How long was I talking to a ghost? Someone who looked like my husband but was actually just waiting to leave. The thought makes me nauseous. Run to the bathroom and throw up. When did I last eat? Can't remember. Look at myself in the mirror. I look insane. Hair everywhere. Eyes red and puffy. Face blotchy. This is what he's done to me. Reduce me to this. I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't fall apart over men. Men are replaceable. I've said that 1,000 times. Men are replaceable, women are essential. So why does this hurt so much? Why does it feel like my chest is caving in? Splash water on my face. Need to think strategically. Need to fight back. He wants a divorce, fine. But I'm not going down without a fight. I'll get a lawyer. A female lawyer, obviously. Someone who understands gender dynamics. Someone who will see this for what it is. A man exerting power over a woman. A man punishing a woman for being strong. A man who couldn't handle an equal partner. Go back to the kitchen. Look through the papers he left. There's contact information for his lawyer. Some fancy firm downtown. Of course he has a fancy lawyer. Probably costs $500 an hour. Money he hid from me. Money that should have been ours. I'll contest everything. The house should be half mine. I lived here for 12 years. I made it a home. I decorated. I hosted dinners. I created the ambiance. That has value. Emotional labor has value. I've been saying this for years. Now I'll prove it in court. The money in his secret account. That's marital property. Doesn't matter whose name is on it. We were married. What's his is mine. That's how marriage works. Except, apparently, that's not how it works in his mind. In his mind, he was just waiting out the clock. Supporting me temporarily. Keeping receipts. Planning his exit. And I gave him so much material. Every argument. Every criticism. Every moment of what he calls abuse. All documented. All time-stamped. All ready to present to a judge. He's going to make me look like a monster. The feminist who abused her husband. The activist who practiced tyranny at home. The woman who preached equality but demanded supremacy. It'll be all over social media. My reputation will be destroyed. My work will be questioned. Everything I've built will crumble. Because of him. Because he couldn't just take it. Couldn't just accept his role. Couldn't just be grateful for my guidance. Men are so ungrateful. You try to help them and they call it abuse. You try to educate them and they call it controlling. You try to hold them accountable and they call it emotional manipulation. There's no winning with men. They always find a way to be the victim, even when they have all the power, systemically. They find these individual cases where they can claim victimhood, and everyone falls for it. Poor Steve, trapped in a marriage with a mean feminist, forced to document everything for years, had to plan an elaborate escape. He's probably telling everyone what a victim he is, getting so much sympathy, while I'm the villain, the angry feminist, the man-hater, the abuser. Sit back down at the kitchen table. Look at the papers spread out in front of me. Divorce petition, financial disclosures, property division proposals. It's all so clinical, so calculated. 12 years of marriage reduced to legal documents. He even included a proposed settlement. He gets the house. He gets most of the money. He gets the good car. I get $5,000. I get the old car. I get to walk away quietly. If I contest it, he'll release the evidence. The recordings. The videos. The testimony from witnesses. He'll destroy me publicly. But if I just sign, if I just accept his terms, he'll keep it all private. He'll let me maintain my dignity, my reputation, my career such as it is. It's blackmail, emotional blackmail, financial blackmail, reputational blackmail, and it's completely legal apparently. His lawyer made sure of it. Every move calculated. Every step planned. Years in the making. And I never suspected a thing. Because I was so sure of myself. So sure of my worldview. So sure that I was right and he was wrong. So sure that my perspective was the only valid one. I never considered that he might have a point. That I might be wrong. That I might be the problem. No. I'm not the problem. The patriarchy is the problem. Men are the problem. Steve is the problem. He's just another man who couldn't handle a strong woman, couldn't handle being challenged, couldn't handle growth. So he ran away, like a coward. But the evidence, the recordings, the videos, the witnesses, my own friends turning on me. Maybe I was a little harsh sometimes. Maybe I pushed too hard. Maybe I took out my frustrations about systemic oppression on the one man I had power over. Maybe he's right. Maybe I am an abuser. No, that can't be right. Abusers don't fight for justice. Abusers don't work for equality. Abusers don't spend their lives trying to make the world better. But maybe that's what all abusers tell themselves. Maybe everyone is the hero of their own story. Maybe I've been the villain all along and couldn't see it. My hands are shaking again. I feel cold. So cold. Get up and turn up the heat. Wait, can I afford to turn up the heat? $5,000. That's all I have. Need to find a place to live. Need to find a job. A real job, not freelance consulting. Who's gonna hire me? I'm 38 with a 7-year gap in my resume. My last real job was at a nonprofit that folded. My skills are outdated. My network is all activists who work for free. I have nothing. He's left me with nothing. No, that's not true. He left me with exactly what I contributed. Nothing. I contributed nothing financially. Nothing practically. What did I contribute? Emotional labor. Except he's documented that my emotional labor was actually emotional abuse. Education. Except he's framed my education as indoctrination. Consciousness raising. Except he experienced it as constant criticism. What do I have to show for 12 years of marriage? A pending divorce. A ruined reputation waiting to happen. $5,000. And the crushing realization that I'm not who I thought I was. Look at the settlement papers again. There's a timeline for response. I have 30 days to contest or accept. 30 days to decide if I want to fight. Fighting means exposure. Fighting means everyone seeing what I really am. Fighting means confronting evidence I can't deny. Accepting means slinking away. Accepting means starting over with nothing. Accepting means admitting defeat. But maybe I deserve defeat. Maybe this is karma. Cosmic justice. The universe correcting my wrongs. I spent years telling Steve he needed to acknowledge his privilege. Needed to recognize the harm he caused just by being male. Needed to accept blame for things he didn't personally do. And now I'm being asked to do the same. Acknowledge my harm. Recognize my abuse. Accept blame for destroying my own marriage. But it's so much harder when it's me. So much harder when I'm the one being held accountable. When I'm the one with the power who abused it. When I'm the one who caused pain. I thought I was immune. Thought my politics protected me. Thought my ideology made me good by default. But Steve's right. I didn't want equality. I wanted revenge. Revenge for every woman ever wronged. Revenge for every injustice ever suffered. Revenge for the patriarchy itself. And he was just the man in front of me. The one I could reach. The one I could punish. The one I could make pay for everything. And he took it. For years he took it. Until he couldn't anymore. Until he planned his escape. Until he executed it perfectly. Leaving me here. Alone. With nothing but the truth I don't want to face. I was the villain. I was the abuser. I was the problem. And he was smarter than me the whole time. Playing the long game while I was playing checkers. Documenting while I was ranting. Planning while I was pontificating. And now he's free. And I'm here. In his house. That I have to leave. With his money. That he's letting me keep out of pity. With his car. That he doesn't want. With nothing of my own. Because I gave up everything for ideology. For activism. For the feeling of being right. And what did it get me? An empty house that isn't mine. A broken phone. A pending divorce. And the knowledge that I spent 12 years becoming the very thing I claimed to fight. An oppressor. Just with different justifications. The sun is setting. I've been sitting here for hours. Haven't eaten. Haven't moved. Just sitting with the truth. Steve won. He's gone. He's free. And I'm exactly where I put myself. Alone with my ideology. Alone with my certainty. Alone with my righteousness. And it's not enough. It was never enough. But I didn't know that until now. Until he showed me. By leaving. By planning for years. By being smarter than the woman who thought she was so much smarter than him. I pick up the settlement papers. Look at the line where I'm supposed to sign. 30 days to decide. But I already know what I'll do. I'll sign. Because fighting means facing what I am. And I'm not ready for that. May never be ready for that. I'll sign and I'll move on. Find a studio apartment. Find a job. Start over. And maybe, I'll think about what he said. About what I did. About who I became. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just tell myself he was weak. That he couldn't handle a strong woman. That the patriarchy won again. It would be easier that way. Easier than admitting the truth. That he didn't leave because he was weak. He left because I was cruel. And he was smart enough to plan his escape. Smart enough to protect himself. Smart enough to leave me here. Speechless. Defeated. Alone. Exactly what I deserve.